Good morning. How is everyone? Oh my God. I tell you what, Pablo. Good morning, Pablo. How are you? How are things going? I apologize if I was just a few minutes late getting started this morning. D Webb. Good morning, D Webb. How you doing? Down goes John. You know what? This is not a video about John. Okay? Copal thought Mike was going to pivot the channel away from content like this. Not complaining, just interesting that it didn't happen. It's going to happen. It is. But I had to address a few things, and so we did. Oh, Norman made it in this morning. Good morning, Norman. How are you doing? In here already beating up people in the room? Jeez. Sorry about that. McLovin, good morning. Must still be working out details of the time live. Just changed. Yeah. I didn't notice. For some reason, I thought I put in 6:15 to begin with, but unfortunately, I came up for 5:45. Sometimes I don't know what happens. Sometimes YouTube does it. Sometimes Ecamm does it. Sometimes I do it. I'm not without fault. Good morning, Mike. We've got a surprise live. How cool is that? Yeah, it's our Monday morning live. I wonder if the UN, we're not even going to deal with John this morning, okay? Let it be, okay? I've had my piece to say, and whatever goes down in the future is what goes down. People saying hello. Copal Mike said that he would still do this type of content along with newer content. And I will. I mean, this is not my kind of content going after, but you know what? Again, I'm just going to leave it be for now. Michael, I had my bottom feeder and loved it. Okay. I'm bored from Miami. Heat is on. Is it hot in Miami? I don't know. I don't know what the temp is in Miami. It's hot here, that's for sure. That is for sure. Good morning, Dano. What is up, young man? How are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Good morning from Southeast Tennessee. That's Heath McDaniel. I'm sorry. Indeed. So, Angeles City. I do believe that we see so many videos about the Philippines, and then there's so many videos about Angeles City, and there's so much of this and so much of that. And I'm going to tell you, this is just my opinion. Angeles City is not representative of the entire Philippines. Angeles City is a snapshot of part of the Philippines. It has a very, very large Filipino population, but it's not a tropical paradise. It is got poverty. It's got infrastructure issues. It's got all kinds of things. I mean, there are a lot of reasons why Angeles City fits for some people, and a lot of reasons it doesn't. I mean, it's radically different. When we go to our home in the province, it's a whole different it's a whole different lifestyle. It's a whole different set of things. I have Filipinos that live on the same floors I live in. I mean, to say that Angeles doesn't represent Filipino life is not true, but it is representative of a different thing. But that would be kind of like saying Makati isn't really representative of the Philippines. Um, I, I'm seeing comments as I come up. I haven't shaved yet this morning. I have a meeting a little later this afternoon, and I said, I'll just shower and shave after my live stream. But it's like saying BGC is representative of the Philippines. It's a representative of a part of the Philippines. Okay? And it may not be that part that you find you want for retirement. Yeah, there's a large expat population here. Yeah, there's some decent international dining, and there's a good bit of international dining that's moderate. And there's a ton of Filipino dining that is great, but it's still not the province. It's still not the remoter locations. It's still not indicative of how a large percentage of the Filipinos live, because it just isn't. Wages here are low in the Philippines, and that drives a lot of the circumstances. I mean, we see poverty, we see trash, we see infrastructure issues here in Angeles, and they are somewhat larger than in other parts of the Philippines. Um, just like Cebu, we've been to Cebu on multiple occasions. There are, very nice infrastructure central areas, just like Clark here in Angeles. All right. But there are a whole lot of reasons why Angeles City may not be a good fit for you. And if you're looking for that laid back lifestyle, if you're looking for an incredibly relaxing, back to nature, back to basics, back to growing your own food, raising animals, or not even that. I mean, you can be in a whole different sector of the Philippines. And for some people, that fits better. Angeles has positives, obviously. It has an international airport. It has, let's see, internet. It has good hospitals. It has a vibrant 24-hour feel. Okay, Angeles City proper never sleeps. There's always something going on somewhere. There are tons of events, all right, that happen here. But at the same time, with all of that being said, um, you know, it's not a tropical paradise. There's no beaches here. There's no well, that's not true. I was going to say there's no rivers here, but there actually are some very nice rivers sections near here. All right, a quick 15-25 minute drive at the way Arlen drives. There are a lot of reasons why Angeles City could fit very well for you. But there are a lot of reasons that Angeles City will not fit for you. Um, it has good private schools. It has a lot of different things. And there are a lot of Filipinos that interact with expats here. It has a couple of malls. It has plenty of shopping. It has all kinds of things. And, you know, you can make Angeles as laid back as you want it to be, but the city itself never shuts down. This, barangays, neighborhoods, certainly they can and do, all right? But in the bottom line is it's not the entire sector. Um, Crime here in Angeles is higher than other places, lower than some places. Um, but there are no decent crime statistics. Period. So it's really hard to tell. There are multiple reasons why you would not want to live here. Okay, um, you anywhere you go, the lines can be longer. All right, things go out of stock quicker. But then again, things come in. I mean, there's a lot of. I'm 15 minutes from S&R, and I'm 15 minutes from Landers, big box stores. Okay. With that being said, you could live elsewhere and be 30 or 45 minutes from those locations. I mean, there's just so many different reasons. Um, there are a host of people that live here. And for each and every one of us, retirement may mean something totally different than our neighbor or than our family members or anyone else. And so everybody has to just simply decide what it is they do want. Now, one of the advantages of Angeles City is it is a great central point jump off. You have tons of domestic flights and international flights from an airport that literally takes less than 20 minutes to check in and get through. It has immigration for those of you that are on tourist visas. Immigration's um, right there at Marquee Mall. There is a Department of Foreign Affairs office satellite office in town, and a full DFA 25 minutes away in San Francisco. For those of you, San Fernando, for those of you that need Department of Foreign Affairs stuff. The U.S. Embassy does a couple of meetings a year here. There's just all different reasons for it. That's for sure. With all of that being said, there is trash. There is infrastructure issues. There are crime. There are congestion, traffic, everything that you may want to be getting away from in your own country. Everything that just really bothers you. So those things always have to be weighed against the others. And even the most idyllic um, uh, options can change. Um, you can get. I guess a good example is you could have a beautiful location right there at the beach. Let's just say, there are parts of Florida beaches that I absolutely love that there's no way I could afford the some of the beach properties and elsewhere. Look at John. John's trying to pick a fight. Oh, I tell you, you know what, John? Um, so be it. All right. So be it, John. Uh, uh, so here, John just won't quit, will he? He just misses having a target. But enough said. I'm not going to deal with John today. I have other things on my mind, and he's insignificant. So, but at the same time, in Florida, I have dealt with red tide. Um, one of our trips in Florida, I took Arlen to Tampa. I had this whole beautiful place all laid out, checked into it, beachfront, the whole 9 yards, great resort. We didn't even make it through the night. They were having this huge red tide in Tampa, and the bacteria in the air was blistering our eyes. We had to check out and move on. So, I mean, the same thing can happen here. You can go to Bohol and you can have a jellyfish invasion, or to wherever. So, I mean, no place is perfect by any way, shape, or means. All I'm doing is pointing out that things just don't always be the way that that what's great today is not necessarily great tomorrow. Is it a good location to meet people, to do things with expats, to do everything else? Copal makes a quick say, Clark seems like it's on its way up. Nothing stays. So yeah, Clark's a very nice area. In fact, I have a meeting out there. I have a casual meeting with a subscriber out on Clark today. So, but not everybody wants what Angeles has to offer, and it does. And people don't care for what Angeles. Now, does it have problems with its reputation, with all the things that go along with it? Sure, absolutely. Is there a huge red light area? Yeah, red light zone, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there is. There's no denying that. You can't deny it. Okay. Um, let's see here. I gotta fix this here. Um, Let me catch up on some of the some of the comments. If I miss your comment, please, I apologize. Ozzy, I'm in Miami. I can say summer is officially here. Okay. Yeah. My daughter is on her summer adventure. That's the best way to put it. Okay. And so she's on her way across the United States, and she'll be arriving here in the very near future. And she's looking forward to getting out of the heat where she is. And I told her, you're just changing it for the heat you're coming here for. Bobby Gill, good morning, OBJ. Good morning, Bobby. Thank you for joining us. Paul Rogers, hi, Mike and Arlen. Hope all is well in paradise. Happy to be tuned in to the best channel. Well, thank you, Paul. We're not the best channel. We're far from it. In fact, we're minor nothing. But I'm surprised, 20 minutes in, 19 minutes and 13 seconds, 60 people in the room. It's pretty good. I can't complain about that. That's for sure. I already got my one thumbs down. Thank you very much, Norman. We appreciate that. Yeah, D Webb, the old head. Yeah, Dave's been here. Dave's been here since a long time. Jeez. Missed a few whiskers. Yeah, McLovin. Like I said, I have a lunch meeting, I guess the best word for it. It has nothing to do with business or YouTube or anything else. out there on Clark, and I'm going to shower and shave after this, so I'm fresh for that. D Web. Nice. Whereabouts? I'm always a Cebu Southerner. I like the States. I'm not a Yankee fan. Aussie. Okay. All right. I am not a baseball guy. And I know that the ugly tourist is in here. I haven't gotten to him yet. But I know he's a big baseball fan. I think Philly, who's also in here, is also a big baseball fan. I guess. Good morning, ABG. Ugly Tourist, Uncut and Raw, his alternative ID. Good morning, Ugly. How are you, James? I dropped in a couple times and to your live stream. Brooks Rick, good morning. Slick Rick, about 30 miles away, 30 minutes away from Angeles City. Yep. I think Angeles can be laid back. It's all about what you're different. Yeah, again, I agree with you, McLovin. I truly do. You know, there are some days where we don't even leave where we live. Okay? We can get everything we want delivered by Grab, and not just food, but I mean, we can get groceries delivered and everything else. We can go upstairs on the rooftop, have meals. We can cook out on our grill. We can do everything else. We can go swim right upstairs. So we'll see. D Web, when I make it to the Phils, I'll drop Mike and you a time. Hopefully, we can do a meet and greet. Absolutely, Rick. Absolutely. Chosen One says, good morning, Chosen One. First off, gee, Slick, do you ever sleep? Philly in the Philippines, good morning, Brian. Good morning. Ugly Tourist, good morning, everyone. Slick Rick says he has insomnia. AC is a shell of its former glory. Well, I guess maybe that's, you know what, Chosen One? But what was its former glory when you say that? When you say it's a shell of its former glory, I don't know what it was like in the 70s and 80s, but did it have a mall? Did it have an international airport other than the military? Did it have immigration? Did it have um, the number of amenities out on Clark and here in the city? I guess it depends on what you define that as. And for many expats, that's not everything. What's up, Chosen? What's changed since back in the day? Yeah, exactly. Obi-Wan the Gnome. Okay. I'm not even sure how to say that. Obi-Wan Denomi. Okay. Maybe that's, I hope I said it right. Is it Obi-Wan Denomi? Chosen is definitely still suffering from the pandemic. I don't, and that also is a bit of a variable. Construction certainly has more than pre-pandemic. There's more construction going on in Angeles City since pre-pandemic. Is there more tourism? I just don't consider Angeles City, that in my opinion, a great tourist destination unless you're a sexpat. Chosen is definitely. I'm looking at the AMSEC area. Oh yeah, Pulu AMSEC. We almost bought a house there. It's beautiful. It's very nice. Chosen One. Before the pandemic, I would have told you AC is the greatest place on earth. I could party, but those days are long gone. Chosen One. Can you still party 24/7? And is that your idea of a retired life? I'm not sure. Tom Cruise made it in. Good morning, Tom Cruise. Thanks for joining us. Chosen will take some time if it gets back. I don't think it ever will. I don't think that the red light zone, all right, is ever going to be back to where it was, because I don't think it really matters that much. I really don't. Opie wanted to, I'm looking to chill, do some motorcycle riding in the Philippines loop. I still need a home base. Yeah. And Angeles City works well as a home base, but it's not for everybody. You have to have a reason to want to retire here. You can't just say, I love the Philippines. Um, you're not going to walk through virgin jungles here. You're not going to see all kinds of things. What you will see, you're going to have to deal with poverty. You're going to have to deal with traffic. You're going to have to deal with noise. And then you're going to have to add to that the roosters, okay? Because there are some even in the city. So that's fine. When we came here, nobody told me what to do and how to do it. Yeah, book 'em. There was not a whole lot. Um, Pre-pandemic, there was not a lot of information out there. Here we go, chosen one. Angela City has great over medium eggs. And you know what, Brian? They have great over easy eggs. They have great Thai food. There's actually two French restaurants here that are very good. There are multiple great restaurants. There are movie theaters. How far do you have to go to watch a first run movie? Brian, how far do you have to go to get to a Landers or an S&R? There are all kinds of things, Brian. Now, granted, what we don't have is what you have, and that is fast access to the beach, okay? Fast access to the local community. But, there are trade offs everywhere, Brian, I think. My stalker's here. Good for him. Okay, everyone told me AC's desired location. Is that the guy who wouldn't show up when invited? We're not even going to go into it. Tom Cruise, get rid of the Brits and Angela. No, you know what? I have a lot of British friends. Okay? In fact, we have a group of friends that goes out to dinner once a week. And in that group of friends, there's a Brit. Now, granted, although he owns a place here, all right, he owns a condo here. He also owns a home and a compound in Dubai. His business is in Dubai. And his girlfriend is here in Angeles City. And they've been together for quite a while. And he flies 2 weeks in Dubai, 2 weeks in Angeles City. And he's a great guy. Absolutely great guy. Younger, he's in his early 50s. But, he's a British guy and he's just fine. Absolutely fine. Ugly Tourist Philippines. Thanks, Philly and OPJ, for helping us out. I came into your live several times yesterday, James. Pretty much, I had a lot going on yesterday, so I pretty much was in your live, but not at my keyboard. So, I went in to support your numbers, and I'll catch up with the live and everything first chance I get. Only read McLovin. People saying, hey, Smooth Lee, vacationing down in, I think, the Cebu area currently, up early. Geez, thanks for dropping in, Lee. We certainly appreciate it. OPJ derangement syndrome. I wouldn't be the only one. Look, we have people who who like us and our content, people that don't, and trying to be reasonable, it's not going to happen. Ace Bachelor, cool, good morning, ABC. Angeles City is the place to be. And for some single guys, certainly it could be. All right. When you're not looking for that Filipino interaction, when you're not looking for having to become a part of the Filipino um, population, the things that happen within, um, you know, when you're not going to assimilate into that culture. And that is really part of what's going on worldwide is foreigners going to other countries and they don't assimilate into the culture of that country. They create their own little bubble of their own lives. And that's happening worldwide. So you can't say it's a horror story. Angeles City has ABC. Yeah, ABC. They have a good restaurant. I think ABC, to be honest with you, has the best hummus of any of the places I've had hummus here. Chosen one. I'm in AC. I can no longer recommend it in good faith. Yeah. And chosen one though, aren't you single? What is it? Um, Chosen one travels, if I'm not mistaken, quite a bit. ABC, some people say it's not what it used to be. I don't know. Depends on when it used to be, perhaps. I got no idea. Okay. We'll skip that. Why not chosen, and where would you recommend? Angeles City like Los Angeles? Well, even Los Angeles has a much better infrastructure. Slick, I haven't thought of making videos. We'll probably put one out today. We'll keep an eye out for it, Lee. Obi-Wan Denomi. If you was here before the pandemic, you would understand. If you were here before the pandemic and you were single, would you have a different opinion if you were here before the pandemic and you were partnered? D-Web. I would consider moving to Clark and possibly purchase a 2-bedroom condo. However, after the recent building collapse, I can't help but wonder if any of the Clark condos are up to code. I think so. But certainly it's a big concern, Dave. You have to worry about it. You have to worry about construction anywhere in the Philippines. Obi-Wan says, when I get there, I plan to spend a month in BGC, then a month in Angeles, and find a house to rent. All right. No kidding. There's always in the back of my mind, yeah, Rick, Philly and I need to go at it again. Increase clicks and views. Philly versus Ace. You guys knock yourselves out. Dano says the same thing. He feels like it could be. LA 7, Phillies 0. Wow. Our little world, good morning, everyone. Chosen one is saying Walking Street was better. Walking Street for many just isn't really retirement. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have retired friends whose entire lifestyle revolves around dating Filipino girls. Okay? Both from Walking Street and elsewhere. That's just the way it is. And maybe so. Amigo 2K. Good morning, afternoon. How's things going, amigo? It's good to see you back. That's right. Paul Rogers. Regarding Clark, seems like a decent place to live out your days. No dogs running loose, great bars, restaurants, roads look well maintained, and plenty of amenities just to find a home. I mean, certainly, there are limitations on Clark. There are parts of Clark there are reasons I would not live on Clark. I think that living on Clark 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, now I won't be around, all right, for it, but living on Clark is going to uh, have some real traffic issues once you try and exit Clark proper. So Clark is a free zone area. It has boundaries, an entry area and an exit area. And traffic is already congested significantly entering and exiting through those two areas. And that's just going to get worse. So, but then again, Clark has or could, you could theoretically live your life on Clark. But then why are you in the Philippines? Angeles Clark is a tourist destination for Asian golfers. I can't buy that at this point. I mean, sure, Copal, it is. There are. They do. But it's not that much. I mean, let's all be, wow, 70 in the room at 36 minutes? Wow. Thank you so much. But let's be honest, Copal. I've been to Clark in the winter time, beautiful sunny day in the 70s. You don't see that many people on the golf courses there. Now, there's a lot of expats that don't golf in Clark. One of our buddies is a big golfer. He belongs to a group of guys that golf all over the place. Ace Bachelor Cool belongs to a golfing team. They don't. A lot of them don't golf at Clark because it's so expensive. But then some people can afford it. Sid Ricardo High says she will never go to Mike's channel again. Oh, that's fine. AC was just way more fun. Everybody's retirement looks different. Yeah, I agree. Amigo, hey Mike, I have a question. I'm looking to educate my girlfriend there about savings. She has a passbook, and I believe she's not going the right direction where to put her money. I will tell you, amigo, and I will make this is a very broad statement, okay? But one of the first things that I would look at is PAG IBIG, PAG dash IBIG, I can't remember. Okay. PAG IBIG is a government program that was made like it started like a micro loan type situation where people put in money and they did loans to Filipinos, mostly for houses, properties, things like that, small loans, many years ago, and they grew. And they returned between, I think Arlene's last year's return on her PAG big was about 7%, 7.5%, something like that. They have two programs, MP2, MP3. MP3 is kind of like a 5-year commitment. That money, you get interest every year. You can either take that interest or you can roll it into your principal. You can have up to 5 accounts, and each one of those accounts you can put up to, each one of those accounts I think can hold up to 5 million pesos. The MP2 is less restrictive. You get a little bit smaller return, but that's part of where I would start. Most of the banks do not offer just like in the U.S., you have to go into some special programs, most of the banks, to get a decent return. Here, PAG IBIG is very good. It's made for Filipinos, made for them, and they get access to better loans and loan rates when you have PAG IBIG. That's the first thing that I would look at. It's not stellar stuff. It's not the stock market. It's not the securities exchange. And I don't deal with any of that stuff, quite frankly. but I think it's a good start. It's at least worth looking at. You're going to have to deal with the skin tax. Yeah, and I think you deal with the skin tax everywhere. I think the skin tax can exist everywhere. McLovin, AC is perfect for me. I like having an airport, easy access to Starbucks, and all the amenities. Exactly, McLovin. And and yet you can still hop, skip, and jump to all these different other locations and explore other locations throughout the Philippines. So if part of your retirement is the fact you are still active and want to explore, then AC offers a nice, quick airport with destinations anywhere in the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia. I mean, it's just access to a lot of stuff and far less. Now, what happens when they build the new airport out in Manila? I don't know. Maybe that's going to be a better choice, but that's years. Still think from being up to speed. I want to live near a good airport so it's more exactly that's exactly what I said. That's what I meant. Blah blah. I'm not sure. I skipped some of these. I always said if Angeles City sat on the ocean, it would be the perfect city to live in. And Brian, I agree with that. I wish we had a beach. I wish we had a better beach than Subic. I don't mind being 45 minutes from the beach over at Subic, but I don't consider that a really nice beach. And I don't consider the resorts in Zambales, north of Subic, to be exceptional resorts. Time will tell. They'll build stuff. It's just, we're ahead of what's there. Philly, if Angeles was on the ocean, would it be Pattaya? Oh, well, that's a good question, Brian. Never any jellyfish in a rooftop pool. Yeah, you're right, McLovin. Slick, Obi-Wan, probably love the Clark International. It's nearly as hectic as it isn't. The Clark Airport is the best airport I've encountered here in the Philippines. So we've been through the airport in Catlacan, Cebu, El Nido, Puerto Princesa, shit, the list goes on. Bohol, all over, and nothing really, in my opinion, compares. Copal, hell no, Pattaya is Angeles on steroids, at least 100 times bigger. I wouldn't say it's 100 times bigger, but Pattaya has its own claim to fame. It has its own stuff. I mean, better restaurants, I think so. More restaurants, I think so. All right, better accommodations, even average accommodations in Pattaya, I think are better than average accommodations here. But it's all up to you. If Angeles City was on or near the water, it would be a Longapo. Oh wait. Ace, what's up? When you are not looking for a sure thing. Okay, Joe Paul, how are you doing? Thanks for dropping in. I like AC, but it's the Philippines. There's so many, and our little world is touching right on the absolute part of reality. There's so much more to the Philippines, and Angeles may not be indicative of the Philippines you're looking for. Is Angeles indicative of the Philippines? Yeah, but it's not indicative of most of the Philippines. I mean, most of the you're talking about the land mass and everything that goes with that. It's not indicative of how you'll be treated in the province. I don't think. Um, uh, Provincial living in the province has always been a very community minded, um, people related thing. But then again, I have to think that when Arlen and I go to the province, the vast majority of the people, you know, Arlen's father's one of 16 children. Her mother was one of 11. So everybody within a 5 kilometer radius of our home in the province is a cousin, aunt, uncle, or longtime friend of the family. So it's a little difficult to really judge it that way. Pablo, hey, chosen one, we need to chat before George or Heidi block me. We used to chat. It happens. Pablo, what's up? What's up? Joe Paul, if you were there when Ferdinand and Imelda ran the Philippines, you'd think you died and went to heaven. Those two know how to throw a party. I don't know. I was never around for Ferdinand or Imelda Marcos, number one. And number two, I doubt if I had been around, I would have been on their invite list. That's for sure. My recollection of Angeles is as a teenager dependent of a military retiree and going on base to buy stuff in the BX and commissary. It's a little America in the middle of Angeles City. Yeah, it was. From what I understand, it was long gone by the time I came around. The Filipina P. Yeah, okay. Sure it is. What's wrong with Angeles City, Philippines? How about Los Angeles, California instead of the Philippines? I don't know. I've been to LA in the US, never lived there. Okay. So I couldn't give you an answer. Why don't you tell us? I plan on chilling, not whoring. I'll look in the Clark area. Yeah, exactly. Uh, Ugly Tourist says Clark is not walkable. Clark as an entire entity, no, it's not. Okay. And I think and James, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but what I think it is that what he's referring to is Clark is not a compact area like Makati or like BGC. Okay. It's not walkable. Clark is a large spread out area. Okay. There are areas that you can walk around in and everything, but it is not just a walkable area. Well, you're not going to walk from one side of, but you know what? BGC, you can walk from one side to the other during the day. All right. It's only so many blocks long and 2 blocks wide. Makati actually is pretty big. We used to live in Makati years ago. You're not going to walk Makati either. So Angeles City, you're certainly not going to walk long term. It's just not set up for walking. The sidewalks are a horror story. Traffic. They don't keep the sidewalks empty and clear. It is difficult. It really is. But everywhere has its negatives. Bill M. Puerto Princesa has SM Mall, major hospital, U.S. approved, say, SSDI doctors of most all disciplines, and easy access to regional airport. Traffic isn't much to complain about. Food option. Yeah, we've been to Puerto Princesa. All right, we've been to Palawan on a couple occasions, and we Puerto Princesa is a nice area. It does have traffic. Release Jeff Epstein files. Good morning, Filipina P. Ugly. You just never try. You just never tried. Okay. Ronald Berry, good morning, Mike and Arlen. Well, thank you. I'll let Arlen know you said hi. Really? Is that supposed to upset me? Release Jeff. That's not the Philippines. Filipino P. Ding is in that savings account. Yeah, ugly. Ugly knows exactly. Ugly represents a type of expat that is very family oriented and he wants to provide for his family. He knows that he has a limited shelf life and that Ding and his child will be around. And I'm sure he's looking at all the options that work for a possible future for them. And Pag Big is a good starting point to teach Filipinos the beginning of finance. But they've got to have the responsibility too. In other words, they've got to have the wherewithal to get away from that everyday spending mentality. So that's probably one of the first things you've got to get to them. Look at all the work they're doing in Manila Bay. That's going to be amazing. Yeah, it is. It's going to be a beautiful thing. We'll see how long it lasts. Ugly Tourist Philippines. I go many places from Clark. One of the reasons we stayed in Angeles. Yeah, you've hopped, skipped, and jumped up to Baguio, further up north, La Union, Manila, Surigao, Dumaguete. I mean, you've been jumping all over and doing. And for those of you that haven't seen his videos, you should drop by the Ugly Tourist and take a look at them. Being active and traveling is why the mythical $1,000 budget doesn't work. Yeah, the $1,000 a month budget is going to put a severe crimp on your extracurricular activities, your liquid disposable income, and travel, without a doubt. But you can still save up for occasional trips. McLovin, hell, I think Clark Airport is better than O'Hare. Oh my God. O'Hare is a disaster. Come on, McLovin. I know you're from Chicago. You can't possibly compare O'Hare. Really? I mean, I got to admit, now, truth be told, I haven't been in O'Hare in about 14 years, 15 years since the last time I've been to O'Hare. But still. Ace says, I like having Subic Bay 1 hour from Angeles City. It's a nice getaway. So if you go to Subic Bay, Ace, do you swim in the water right there, say in front of Central Park or Mangoes or places like that? Do you? I mean, all the sand in Subic, none of it's powdery white sand. It's all gray lahar, still left over from the Pinatubo. Clark Airport offers direct flights to Surigao. Yeah, there you go. See, Brian knows. I mean, the options at Clark are really good. Pattaya City is the sewer of Thailand. I don't know. You know what? Pattaya City, just like Clark, just like Angeles, has its plus and minuses. We know a couple of retired guys in Pattaya City. I don't think they're really happy there. One of them's been there for like 12 years, and he's considering moving here. The visa situation in Thailand has gotten bad, but Hua Hin, Chiang Mai, even Bangkok has some great offerings for Thailand. Paul says he was stationed in Subic in '88, used to make weekly runs to Angeles the following day. We took the jeepney to San Miguel. Great scuba diving, 90-foot visibility. Sure, base is gone now. Well, you're not going to get 90-foot viz in Subic currently. Maybe in another 10 to 15 years. But there's so much lahar. They call it lahar. Lahar is the ash that came from Pinatubo. All right. There's so much of that has settled into the bay. All right. I mean, it's all over the local area as well. Even Angeles has lahar. If you dig a little deeper, you'll find it. All right. But you're not going to get 90 foot. We have a friend that is a dive instructor in Subic. He lives here at Tower 3. He's been here for about, 17, 18 years. Okay. And I haven't seen him probably in about 6 months. So I wouldn't call him a friend. He's an acquaintance. And he was telling me, on a good day, they'll get 30 feet. And that's a good day. Clark is good when I fly to Boracay International. I'd still take Manila. And you know what? Granted, you'll get some better times on direct flights in Manila. But if you don't mind a layover, although Thailand, I still like it better. But granted, I think Chosen One's correct. When you fly currently, or now I haven't looked at it in the past 6 months, but currently, when you fly Clark to Bangkok, the arrival times kill your day. You're leaving here late in the afternoon, getting there at night. By the time you get to your hotel, you've wasted an entire day. Whereas Manila does have an early flight. Thailand visa system getting more complicated. Exactly. The and was for John. Mikey makes a silly point of saying our. Oh, okay. Yeah. I apologize, Ronald. I certainly do. It's fine with me. You know what? We have literally over 100 videos in our playlists with Arlen, and posts in our community file with Arlen. And in fact, I'm going to be doing another one shortly with Arlen. Now, you won't be seeing much of me in the next month, through the month of July. My daughter arrives here in a very short period of time. We will be busy with her and traveling, and I'm just not going to have time, and I apologize for that. Thanks for your for info you provide during your live streams. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. All right, release. You know what? We do the best we can. Going to O'Hare is like going to Subic or Onkapo. It's a dump. I once took what do they call it? I don't think they call it the train, the metro, the T, the E, whatever. But it was the transit train from O'Hare. I took it in my younger, more adventurous days, carrying 2 suitcases, or actually it was one suitcase and one shoulder bag, from O'Hare down to central Chicago, Michigan Ave area where I was staying, to the nearest station down there, and then caught a cab. And I got to tell you, it was back then, this was probably 25, 35 years ago. Even then, it was just a tiny bit dicey. So I don't know what it's like nowadays. Book 'em, Dano. We have JR steak here. Great steak with mashed potatoes. Yeah, Dano, you told us about them. Why can't he open up somebody here? James Gilbert. Hello, Mike, and everyone just got home. Been walking the dogs. Yeah, it is warm out there this morning. There's no doubt about that. It is a warm day. Still 60 in the room. Oh, 64 now. So why Angeles won't fit for everybody? It's just not that tropical destination that you're going to see on everybody's YouTube channels. It's not. It's a built up metroplex. I wouldn't, well, maybe not a metroplex. I'm not sure, what comes under metroplex, but above burgeoning town. All right. But oh yeah, McLovin, there you go. Now I remember the L, because it was elevated. Isn't that why it's elevated as it goes through a lot of Chicago? But anyways, yeah. So why isn't it? It's not full of beaches. It's not the Filipino lifestyle. I mean, most of the Filipinos that you run into here in Angeles City, if they're not working, it's simply because they're old. Vast majority of Filipinos here are working. Of course, there are those that aren't, but the vast majority are. and and now they may not be working major jobs or anything like that, but they are working. Now there are of course people that aren't. Don't get me wrong, but bottom line is that everybody in the Philippines has a different mindset. And your idea of what you want out of retirement, if I wanted to choose a location to retire in the Philippines and I threw away the issue of, okay, I don't need an international airport, or if I threw away everything except from a financial point of view, I believe, and this is just my opinion, the opportunities used to exist. I don't know if they still exist anymore, but when we moved here, the opportunities to invest in real estate that would acquire appreciation over the next 15, 20 years was greater. I believe those days are actually gone. Those days, I think those days are gone. I think the return on investment for owning a condo here, I think they're overpriced for what you get. But that's, again, just an opinion. Don Pubra, Adrian, how are you doing, Adrian? Good to see you. Hope your family's doing well. One of the hardest working guys I know, Filipinos I know. Shout out to Adrian, the hardest working man. Exactly, Slick Rick. McLovin, Mike, what's your favorite place or live music in AC? To be honest with you, McLovin, my favorite live music used to be a place up the road, up the street, Max's Cafe. Decent restaurant, nothing special, but they used to have great live music. We haven't been there in a long time, so I don't know. Could be Amtrak back then. No, it was the L. It was the L. Hope you and your daughter have a good time traveling the Philippines. Give her your old man wisdom. Now, you know what? Those days are over. Daddy's opinions are very, very limited. When you have an educated young adult, my daughter's 23. When you have an educated young adult at 23, I think they all think they know everything. Think back to when you were 23. Didn't you think you knew everything? Sometimes I think my wife thinks, not my wife, sometimes I think my daughter, and I know when I went, when I was young, I thought I knew everything or I was prepared for everything. And I was sadly mistaken. I still don't know everything. I was looking through some box in our spare room. My wife asked me what I was looking for. I said our marriage certificate, see if there's an expiration date. Yeah, not, I don't know. Dano, did you guys get married here or did you guys get married in the States? I don't remember. For those of you that don't know, Dano, he has a channel as well. You should drop by. His wife and he lived and worked in the U.S. I think his wife is still in the U.S. right now. She's coming, joining him back. But they have a beautiful home. They live in a great neighborhood. He's enjoying life, absolutely enjoying life. And that's what it's all about. But I don't think, that Angeles is for everybody. And again, I'm going to make sure I make this very clear. Angeles is not indicative of the entire Philippines. When you say you live a Filipino lifestyle, you do in that area, that lifestyle in that area, because we have Filipinos that live on our floor, that own condos on our floor. So, I mean, there are Filipinos that live the same exact lifestyle we live. So we do. But when it comes to the general population, the large number of the population, all right, no, that's not where we live, okay? And it's not indicative of all of Angeles. We know Filipinos that own homes, multiple homes in Pulo Amsak, okay? And they live in Pulo Amsak. So I mean, it's all it's all about where you are, but is it the tropical paradise? You're not going to see much tropical jungle here in Angeles City. You're just not. Okay, it's a metroplex, a small metroplex. All right, maybe that's the wrong word, but it is a small metroplex. But it is not the same. It really and truly is not. It's not like going to Bohol. It's not like going to the outer areas of Cebu or Dumaguete or something like that. That's more Filipino. But there are going to be people that are going to say even that isn't a Filipino lifestyle. There are places you can be depending on what you're willing to trade off. I personally think anybody that's looking for that in particular should not consider Angeles City. Everyone, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notifications. Thank you so much. Thank you. Release. There's not more danger traveling here, probably safer than a lot of places in the U.S. I feel safe, but I mean, it's not like I'm up and down these streets at 2 o'clock in the morning or even midnight or even 11 o'clock. I can't remember the last time Arlen and I weren't home and tucked into bed before 11 o'clock, unless we were having some sort of event, all right, a celebration, a birthday, a holiday, whatever, in our condo, and we had company over. So, but being out on the streets, so I don't know. I have more Filipinos that are actually friends, than expats. Expats are just acquaintances. And that's pretty much the same way, Dana. That's pretty much true. Lots of Filipino money in Subic Yacht Club when we had lunch. Yeah, there's a lot of Filipino money everywhere. People do not recognize it. And I find it so difficult to understand because I don't know what immigration is like in Cebu at the mall. I don't know what it's like in any place other than here in the Philippines. I'm sorry, here in Angeles City. So when you go to Angeles City to SM to immigration for tourists, it's packed at Marquee Mall with Filipinos. When you go to SM Clark, it's packed with Filipinos. When you go to Landers, it's packed with Filipinos. When you go to S&R, it's packed with Filipinos. Um, you know, for people to say there's no money, no, that's just not true. Richie Rich, good morning. How are you, Cheng, doing? Good to see you. Thank you for dropping by. Same here. I only know one expat. We have a good number of expat acquaintances. We have two expat friends. People, expat friends that I would actually say, hey, you know what? You've got an emergency. I know you'll pay me back. Here's whatever you need. McLovin, if you're out late, just book a grab and say, oh, no kidding. Absolutely. Absolutely no kidding. We just, we went out to dinner the other night, our little group, and we took a trike home. It was probably about 10 o'clock at night. And as we drove down the street that Candy Palace is on, one of our buddies that went to dinner with us was walking up that side street between Palace and Tower 1, 2, 3. And I had to message him and say, hey, let me know when you get to your unit, because you know better than to be walking up that street at 10 o'clock at night, because it's bad. That street can be bad. Amigo. Matt Smith, watching Philippine channels are entertaining. It certainly can be. That's for sure. Certainly can be. And there's no doubt about it. So that is really, we still have 60 people in the room after an hour. We went up as high as 70 something. Very, very happy with that. Matt Smith, old dog is crushing YouTube. Yeah, he is. Good for him. Good for him. I don't have a problem with it. You know what? I don't have a problem with people who put their opinions out there and the reasons that they support those opinions. When it's misinformation, that's a whole different story. When it's outright lies, that's a whole different story. But Old Dog's been around for a lot longer than us. He's got a great big channel. I don't watch him, but I see his thumbnails. All right, I see these. He's got a video out there that's already clicked over 2 million views on that one video. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. More power to him. Good for him. I think that's great. I really do. I would love to see, and I don't care who it is, I would love to see, any of the vloggers that I personally know have a video that clicks out 1 million views, which is still a huge number, but it's minor compared to 2 million. All right. I don't even personally know any vlogger that's clicked out over a, say, 48, 72, over a 10-day period, 500,000 views. Now, Philly may have. I don't know. But either way, I got no idea. Amigo, yep, I'm still here, not going anywhere anytime soon. So, hey, Richie, didn't you go back to Colorado to take care of some business a while back? How was it? Did you have a good trip? Old Dog is one of the OGs. Yeah, without a doubt, he is. Without a doubt, he is. But I think Richie went back, um, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, maybe. Went back to see family, take care of some business or whatever. Who knows? None of our business. But at the same time, I hope he had an enjoyable trip. I hope he had a good time. That's for sure. Um, so, Angeles is not for everybody. It really and truly isn't. Could it be a destination for sexpats? Could it be a destination for expats that want to live in a expat community? Could it be a destination for people that want to use it and um, want to use it as a jumping point with its international airport? The train is coming soon. Uh, so, it's not for everybody. It has its own different things. So Richie says, went home to California and SC, South Carolina or Southern California. Either way, you did go home back to the States, and I hope you had a great trip. Hector says, do you consider sick grandpa's assertions as lies or just exaggerations to get shits and giggles? I know he's a pro troll. You know what? I think you answered the question, Hector. He's a professional troll. I have no idea how much of what he says is entirely accurate and don't care. I really, for the most part, I don't care. And when I don't mean that in a negative manner, what I mean is he's a professional troll, and so be it. You have to. He is entertainment for some people. For some people, that's just entertainment. He's been around a long time, knows a lot of people, but you don't know. And maybe that's the whole root of it. Maybe his entire position is you got to dig deeper and do your own research to find out whether what I said was true or not. Maybe that's what's going through his mind. I don't know. Tim Deziak, good morning, Mike. Good morning, Tim. Had a great time, but gained a little weight. Yeah, isn't that the hell? Isn't that the problem with going home? Isn't that like I have to worry? My daughter's coming. I've done so good. I've lost 24 pounds since I started watching what I was eating and everything in January. Granted, it's not that much. It's been 6 months, right? It's not like it's any great big whoopee-doo. But my daughter's going to be here. I know we're going to be going to some of her favorite restaurants. We're going to be traveling. There's going to be a lot of eating out. I don't know. I'm just like, can I make it without gaining back 5 of those pounds? James Gilbert, I book Grab for all my travel. Jeeps and trikes, not for me. Yeah, we use trikes between here and any of the restaurants around Fields Avenue and MacArthur. And other than that, we use a Grab. Or actually, we have our own car. So we have a Toyota Fortuner. Arlen drives. I no longer drive. I can't feel the brake and gas pedal. So therefore, I don't drive. But it's what it is, and we're happy with it. And but we'll book Grabs. Sometimes depending on the weather. Okay, if it's raining, we won't take a trike. We'll take a Grab. If it's one of those instances where the trikes are really busy. Okay, so for instance, there's a big event in town. There are only so many trikes in the local trike stand, and they're moving people back and forth and everything. We'll book a Grab. And they can be a wait too, but we can wait inside for that grab. If the weather looks like it's going to be nasty, Filipinos are taking trikes, and that cuts down the number of trikes. So it depends on where we're going. I'm trying to fight for parking. Trying to fight for parking along MacArthur, Fields, any of those areas, unless we're going to Clark. Parking at Clark for us is simple because we're going to one of 3 casinos. The restaurants we go to are in one of 3 different casino situations, and they all have plenty of parking. And so we'll drive to those ourselves. Let's see. Did I say hey to Tim? Good morning, Tim. Thanks for dropping in. Sick grandpa gives clicks to others. It's a blessing to be on blast. He does. He does. And that's true. Philippines farm life. Drink a lot of water before you dine out. It'll help to kill your appetite and help you will eat less. Yeah, that's true. I just don't do it. Wish I did. Amigo says, at first, sick grandpa I found repulsive, and yeah, he says some crazy stuff, but I actually found him to be funny in the end. And do I agree with what he says? No, but he's funny. Yeah, you don't have to, just like you don't agree with everybody. You don't agree with me, don't agree with sick grandpa, don't agree with Philly, don't agree with wherever, all right? But does it give you some food for thought? Is it worth your time and energy? All right, for him, he's pure entertainment. But if you made it on sick grandpa's list, you made it on YouTube. Oh, I don't know. We've been on his list before. So, but that was a couple years, about a year ago. Yeah, sick grandpa has become a caricature of himself. Yeah, I think he's getting ready to head for Europe. I think, I could be wrong. I think he has a family member, that's all I'll say, in Germany, and he's going to visit them. And then he's going to be in the U.S. as well. So I think he'll be out of the Philippines for a couple months. Philly in the Philippines. Sig's grandpa is the roast master of the Philippines. YouTube. Yeah, he is. He is. He is unfiltered. He is what he is. And people have to kind of accept that. Hector says Richie Rich is now famous. Sick grandpa just made him famous. There we go. We'll be interested to see if everything picks up for you, Richie. Not that you need it. Your channel's doing great. You and Chang are doing great. It's great. It really is. Okay, folks. I have got to get motivated here. I've got stuff I've got to take care of. It's going to be a busy day. It's going to be a busy week. But either way, I've got stuff I got to take care of. Thank you so much for dropping by. Please do subscribe, hit the thumbs up, share everything if you found this informative or entertaining or anything else that goes along with that. But more than that, please do have a safe, happy day. Take care.